Welcome to Arirang Special. I'm Yoon. A short trip, but important discussions for economic security. South Korean President Yoon is on a 5-day state visit to the Netherlands this week with a key focus on a triple alliance. Today, he sat down with Dutch Prime Minister Rutte for a bilateral summit, taking the two countries' strategic partnership to the next level. We will bring you their joint conference live in just a few moments. While we are waiting for that, our presidential office correspondent Kim Do-yeon joins me on the line. Do-yeon, fill us in.
That's right, Jungmin. The separate meeting between President Yoon and Prime Minister Rutte should be wrapping up soon, or it should be over by now, according to the schedule. While we don't know much about what details will be announced in the joint pressure, we do know that the two countries are looking to deepen cooperation in the semiconductor industry. Like you said, they will likely reiterate what was agreed on Tuesday when President Yoon and the heads of Samsung and SK Hynix visited ASML headquarters. There, the South Korean and Dutch chip giants announced they would jointly invest over $700 million to foster next generation semiconductor technology and young specialists to solidify a, quote, semiconductor alliance with the Netherlands. On top of this, the two heads of state will likely address ongoing uncertainties around the world, including the war in Ukraine. The two leaders have repeatedly underscored the shared values of the two countries. In addition, people-to-people exchanges are likely to be expanded. From what we saw in the past, President Yoon likes to expand the number of working holiday visas, and currently the quota for the Netherlands is around 1,000, so that could be increased.
Right, and we will have details about that soon. Now, could you briefly give us a preview of what we can expect from the rest of the state visit by President Yoon?
Jungmin, President Yoon is set to have a working luncheon after the joint presser. Then he's set to visit the Rittersaal and Ijun Peace Museum at The Hague before returning to Amsterdam. When he gets back to the Dutch capital, he's set to meet with Korean War veterans at the Royal Palace with King Willem-Alexander. More than 5,000 Dutch soldiers were deployed to South Korea to support the South, and more than 120 died in battle. He also has a business forum to attend afterwards, and with his business delegation and the Dutch companies participating at the forum. Lastly, it's customary for a leader visiting the Netherlands on a state visit to host a cultural performance. So President Yoon and the First Lady will be hosting the Dutch King and Queen as the last part of his schedule. That's all for now. Back to you, Jungmin.
Our presidential office correspondent Kim Do-yeon, thank you. And for more insights, Professor Min Jung-hoon of the Korea National Diplomatic Academy joins us. Professor Min, thank you for your coming on.
Good evening.
Good evening. After about a year ago, the Dutch Prime Minister held a summit with the South Korean President in Seoul, during which they forged a strategic partnership agreement. Today, they met again in The Hague, and what do we expect to hear from the joint press conference when it comes to upgrading their strategic partnership?
Yeah, so let me briefly talk about what happened in the summit meeting about 1 year ago. They agreed to develop a strategic relationship between the two countries, mainly underscoring or emphasizing the importance of the two countries in lowering the vulnerabilities in the semiconductor industry. They also made a series of the agreements to enhance the bilateral cooperations between the two countries, including the politics, security, economy, and culture, the various aspects of life. So it means that overall, the two leaders agreed to improve the bilateral relationship between the two countries. As you know, the Netherlands is the second largest economic partner of South Korea, along with the Germany, and the Netherlands is known as the semiconductor powerhouse in Europe. So it is very important for South Korea to improve the economic cooperation with the Netherlands in terms of the semiconductor industry. And in this the summit meeting in Netherlands, the two leaders, I expect that the two leaders will agree to make a kind of the chip alliance which means that they will strengthen their economic cooperations and technological cooperations in the field of semiconductor and probably to the level of an alliance. But it's not the formal alliance. Instead, it means that the two countries agreed to strengthen the economic and technological cooperations in the field of a semiconductor, like to the level of the alliance, which means that in the normal times, people's time, and they will just focus on enhancing their cooperation and the trade and maintain the supply chain and semiconductor industry. But in times of crisis, they will bring up the crisis, the plan, like how they will stabilize the supply chain of the semiconductor industry. So they will share the plans and other kind of informations and plans and how they will work together to stabilize the supply chain of the semiconductor industry. So it is like what the two countries in the alliance normally do when they make an alliance. So the two countries will work together to specialize in those kind of the specific plans and other details to enhance their cooperations in the field of semiconductor.
And Professor, speaking of semiconductors, the two leaders are expected to make their chip alliance, as you said, official through a joint statement. They will form a bilateral consultative dialogue encompassing economic security. What will they be discussing through this dialogue?
Probably they will mainly talk about how they will institutionalize their technological cooperation in the field of the semiconductor between the two countries. So you mentioned that they will establish an annual economic security dialogue between the two countries' foreign policy authorities. So it means that the two governments will continuously work together to talk about how they will stabilize and enhance the semiconductor market and how they can work together to enhance their economic interests or the benefits in terms of the making cooperation, and they will research, or they will share the information, and they will conduct the research about the cutting edge technologies in the field of semiconductor. So they will exchange the people and researchers at the government's level and the university level as a company's level. So they will enhance the multiple cooperations, and I think that's the core of their dialogues annually. And they will also have the semiconductor dialogue between their industrial authorities, so like the Department of the Commerce or the Industry between the two countries. They will specifically focus the details in the technological things. So they will bring on many experts and the authorities, and they will talk about how they will work together in terms of stabilizing the semiconductor industry, and how they will expand their cooperation along beyond just the bilateral cooperations, like how they will incorporate the further cooperation with the United States and Japan and other advanced countries in the field. So the two governments will work together very seriously in terms of strengthening their cooperation, mainly in the field of the semiconductors.
So we are expecting more active follow-up measures both at the higher and working level.
Yes.
And Professor, what does the forging the chip alliance with the Netherlands mean at a time when supply chain risks are high? How significant is it?
Well, many people say that the semiconductor is the essence or the core of the future-oriented industries. For example, most vehicles and just the vehicles, automobiles, and the electric cars, they require to have the hundred of chips to make just each of the vehicles. So it means that without the semiconductors, it's not possible for nowadays to make any cars and a little bit automate the systems. So to secure the stable supply chain of the semiconductor is the key of maintaining the economic growth in the advanced countries. And as you know, the Netherlands is known for the cutting-edge equipment. So the ASML is the only one, the singly provider in terms of the ultraviolet, the lithography, the machine. And South Korea is the world-class semiconductor manufacturer. So they have the different strengths and the capabilities. So if they work together, they can have some kind of the complementary the effect of nature in the semiconductor value chain. So based on those kind of the features, if they make cooperation again and again, they will have also the synergy effect in the field. And these efforts will lead the two countries to take a lead in the field of semiconductor.
A great synergy. And building on that, yesterday, President Yoon toured the headquarters of ASML, a leading semiconductor equipment producer. A big investment was inked there. What does his visit mean when there's a global competition going on in the chip industry?
Yeah, as I mentioned a moment ago, it's like a symbolic event that the two countries, South Korea and the Netherlands, will closely work together to take a lead in the field. And as I mentioned, the ASML is the cutting-edge equipment company, and the Samsung and SK, they are the world-class the manufacturers and the memory chip industry. And as you know, the South Korea has taken about 60% of producing the memory chips in the world. So the Netherlands takes cares about the South Korea's manufacturing capabilities, and the South Korea, the two countries and the semiconductor companies, they needed to work together with ASML and other the semiconductor companies in the Netherlands to stably have the important the parts and the materials and equipment from those countries, those companies. So in this summit, the President Yoon and the economic delegations from South Korea, they visited the clean room of the ASML, the facilities, and it shows that the two countries will continuously work together to take a lead in the industry, and their cooperation will be higher in the coming months and years. So it's a kind of a symbolic event to show to the global community that the two countries' cooperation will be stronger and will be strengthened in the coming years.
I want to focus on the private cooperation. He was accompanied, President Yoon, he was accompanied by Samsung's Lee Jae-yong and SK's Choi Tae-won at the ASML headquarters. In what way the leading firms can work together, create a synergy on chips in detail? If you give us an example.
Yes, so for example, as I mentioned a moment ago, the Samsung and SK, they have the cutting edge, their capabilities in making the memory chips. And ASML has got the cutting edge equipment to the technologies. So they have different strengths and capabilities. So, and both of them need each other because without each of them, it's not possible to make the cutting edge, the memory chips. So based on the different features and strengths, they need each other. So that's why the President Yoon brought those economic delegations to the ASML. And as you may know, the Samsung has got a pretty good relations with the ASML already, and the same situation with the SK, the company. So in terms of having another meeting among those the CEOs, they will enhance their understanding and the cooperation about the semiconductor industry, and they will also exchange their opinions about how they would strengthen their cooperations in the coming months and years. And in terms of the President Yoon's support, in terms of improving the private cooperation among those countries, it will be those countries will have the kind of momentum to strengthen their cooperations in the coming months.
And President Yoon has met ASML's chief executive Peter Benning twice earlier, but it was his first time visiting the company's headquarters. What does it mean for the company ASML to allow access, a rare access to its clean room facility to a foreign leader? Well,
according to the press, it's the first time for a foreign leader to visit the clean room. So it shows that President Yoon has got the tremendous amount of interest in terms of making cooperation with the ASML, the company, and it also shows that South Korea has got lots of interest in terms of taking a lead in the semiconductor industry. And as I mentioned, without the working together with ASML, it's not possible to produce the cutting edge, the semiconductors, the equipment, and the products. So visiting the ASML, the facilities, it symbolically shows that South Korea has got the serious interest in terms of the enhancing its the capabilities in the semiconductor industry. It's like the political and the diplomatic move.
It's a diplomatic move. I can't agree more. And I want to ask you, what is the reason chips are recognized as strategic assets? Why is it important to secure a stable supply chain?
As you know, nowadays the world is experiencing the various the chaotic situations and the international relations. We are going through the two different worlds at the same time, and the U.S.-China strategic competition has been intensified. So, and we also experienced the COVID-19, the pandemic, and in terms of the pandemic and the whole world suffered from the chaotic situations in the global supply chains in essential the goods and the products. And after going through those difficult times, the world, mainly in terms of the advanced countries like the United States and South Korea, Japan, and other countries, they needed to recognize the importance of the securing the stable supply chains in essential and the core industries. So, and one of the important industries is the semiconductors. So with the semiconductor industry, like the beginning from the semiconductor industry, there are advanced countries, mainly in terms of the US, United States lead. Those advanced countries are trying to establish the trustworthy supply chain in the core industries and high-tech industries. And that's the semiconductor industries is the core of those the efforts. So South Korea also recognized the importance of securing the stable supply chain in the semiconductor industry, because in terms of the South Korean economy, semiconductor industry is very important. Without the semiconductor industry, South Korea's economy will be a little bit shakable, and it's not easy to secure alternatives to make the future growth. So in terms of these, the importance and the values or the pillars of the semiconductor industry, South Korea is trying to taking a lead in terms of the securing the stable supply chain in the semiconductor industry, and strengthening the cooperation with ASML and the Netherlands as a whole is one of the examples to show South Korean government's intentional will in terms of the maximize its economic interest in the semiconductor industries and the future-oriented industry.
Professor, what's special about the Netherlands chip producing system?
Well, as you know, the Netherlands is known for the equipment capabilities. ASML, ASL, ASM, and other countries have different strengths and capabilities. And unlike the South Korean economic system, where the big companies take leads in terms of the making economic growth, the Netherlands has got the medium-sized companies, which has the very unique and world-class capabilities in terms of the advanced technologies. And as you may know, the Samsung company made a huge investment when the ASML tried to develop this kind of the unique and world cutting edge the equipment or the capabilities. So the South Korea already recognized how the Netherlands made the progress in terms of having the cutting edge the equipment capabilities. So unlike the South Korea and then other advanced countries, the Netherlands has got the cultural background where the young folks and the young people, the CEOs and the young researchers had got some kind of the enthusiasm to develop their own companies and try to get their own unique capabilities comparable to the other big companies in the world. That's I think the power of the Netherlands and the economic system and the semiconductor industries.
There's a lot to talk about semiconductors, and shifting gears, President Yoon and Prime Minister Rutte are expected to ink memorandums of understanding. We call it MOUs for cooperation in other various sectors. What cooperation do we expect when it comes to trade, energy, and cutting-edge technology?
Well,
other than semiconductors.
According to the press and the presidential office, the two countries will also talk about how they will make a cooperation in the fields of quantum computing, AI, smart agriculture, and defense industry. And the Netherlands has got lots of interest in developing nuclear power capabilities. And as you know, South Korea has got a pretty good and compatible nuclear energy, the capabilities and the products, the capabilities. So the two countries, the leaders will talk about how they will make cooperation in the nuclear energy industries. And they will also talk about how they will work together in terms of the future-oriented industries like quantum computing, which is the blue ocean industry, but we got a long way to go in terms of making some progress and making progress like the advanced technology, the computers. And probably this year and the next year, the world will focus on how they will make a cooperation in terms of AI industries. And they will mainly talk about how the whole world makes kind of norms and the rules and the principles in terms of the controlling the AI's, the capabilities, mainly in terms of the defense industry or the military use. So it's also nothing there. So the South Korea and other advanced countries will take a lead in terms of the developing norms and rules in those AI industries. And the Netherlands has got lots of interest in those fields. So, and the Netherlands has got a pretty good the advanced technologies. So Netherlands will be a pretty good the business partner of South Korea and the quantum computing and AI capabilities. And as you know, the Netherlands is known for beautiful flowers and the other agricultural the goods. So
Great point there.
Yes, and so the Netherlands also got a pretty good reputations in terms of developing smart agriculture. So they will work together how the Netherlands will help the South Korean agricultural industry to enhance its the capabilities.
Right, the leaders are about to speak. Let's listen.
Welcome to this press conference.
이 기자회견장에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 네덜란드 총리님과 대한민국의 대통령님을 모시게 되었습니다. 제일 먼저 이제 발언을 하시고 그리고 난 다음에 세 개의 질문을 받도록 하겠습니다. 총리님 말씀 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다. 오늘 이렇게 이 자리에 오신 것을 감사 말씀드립니다. 이것은 영광입니다. 저는 오늘 대통령님
Zakjul here to The Hague today. And also would like to thank his delegation for joining us. Just over a year ago, and this was on the 17th of November 2022, I was your guest in the vibrant city of Seoul. And we decided back then to step up our relations and enter into a strategic partnership. And today, we take one step further. We are taking important steps in shaping that partnership. We will shortly be signing 6 MOUs deepening our cooperation in areas like economic security and resilience, the energy transition, and defense. The strategic partnership is a new phase in our relationship, building on a solid foundation of over 60 years of excellent ties. The Republic of Korea and the Netherlands may be far apart in the literal sense, but metaphorically we stand side by side. Our countries are united when it comes to security and values. We are both committed to the international rule of law and well-functioning rules-based trade systems. So your country is a key partner and a trusted friend for the Netherlands, in both the world in general and the Indo-Pacific region in particular. The Netherlands greatly appreciates Korea's support for Ukraine, for example. And in your own region, the Netherlands stands firmly behind your country when it comes to North Korea's aggression. Of course, trade is also a key part of our relations, growing in recent years to reach a total of 14 billion euros in 2022. And the fact that Korea is our third largest trading partner in Asia shows that it is an attractive place for Dutch companies and knowledge institutions. Conversely, around 150 South Korean companies are active in the Netherlands, making us one of the main recipients of South Korean investments in the European Union. And there is more to come. Innovation is the common thread running through our economic cooperation. We both have thriving technology sectors that are well matched. Take the semiconductor industry. The Dutch company ASML, which you visited yesterday, makes machines for the microchips produced in South Korea. Our countries are now going to step up our cooperation in this field. This is a promising initiative, and it is also, I believe, a real win-win situation. Besides many opportunities, there are also security risks, and we must help each other protect the value chain. Our strategic partnership provides a good framework to do this, I believe. Mr. President, dear friend, thank you again for being here. It is clear that there is a lot of positive energy in the relationship between the Republic of Korea and the Netherlands. And I look very much forward to continuing our talks during the government lunch. Again, Thank you so much for visiting.
Prime Minister Rutte, people of the Netherlands, thank you very much for your warm hospitality. I'm privileged to be the first president of the Republic of Korea to make a state visit to the Netherlands since the establishment of our diplomatic relations. Today, I held my fourth summit meeting with Prime Minister Rutte and evaluated the dynamic development of our relations and decided to elevate this further. The Netherlands is Republic of Korea's ally who fought for freedom and peace of Korea by dispatching over 5,000 soldiers during the Korean War. 7 decades ago, the solidarity between the two countries was forged in blood during the Korean War and now have established a strategic partnership encompassing a variety of fields including security, economy, culture, and global agenda. Last year, the bilateral trade volume reached the highest ever of $16 billion, and the Netherlands is our second largest trading partner among European countries. The Netherlands is also the country that invests the most among European countries in Korea. Based on the economic cooperational relationship that is developing at an unprecedented pace, the two countries will jointly respond to the immediate economic and security crises and jointly protect the rules-based international order. Upon the historic momentum of the first state visit since the establishment of diplomatic ties, Prime Minister Rutte and I decided to adopt a joint statement today and open a new chapter in bilateral relations that will materialize the strategic partnership. This strategic partnership also, last November, we have discussed this and we have signed this when Prime Minister was visiting Seoul last year. First of all, the two countries that share core values will strengthen the strategic cooperation in the fields of diplomacy, security, national defense, and defense industry. The two countries aim to further strengthen cooperation in the field of diplomacy and security, and by doing so, we will, separately from a ministerial dialogue, we decided to hold a regular Assistant Secretary level policy council every year. We also decided to strengthen our partnership in the field of technology and security. The two countries will meet in Seoul again next year, co-hosting the second ministerial conference on responsible military use of artificial intelligence, and a cross-ministerial cyber policy council will also continue for in-depth discussions. By doing so, the two countries will play a leading role in forming norms related to the use of AI in the military field and also securing a safe cyber environment. Also, the policy research institutes of the two countries will continue and establish a dialogue body to promote joint research projects and build a network of experts. Regarding defense and defense industry and cooperation in this front, the two countries signed an MOU on defense cooperation on the occasion of this visit, and also decided to hold a joint committee on defense industry and logistics. And this will lay, I believe, the foundation for defense and security cooperation. Korea, that has the best capabilities in the defense industry, and also Netherlands, that has the best technologies, the corporate cooperation will be pursued in earnest. Next, the two countries will decided to strengthen strategic communication and policy coordination in the field of economic security and supply chain. First of all, the two countries will establish a semiconductor alliance. the world's largest semiconductor equipment producer, the Netherlands, and Korea, a semiconductor manufacturing powerhouse, will be the leaders in the global supply chain, and both of the two countries will maximize our advantages and the effectiveness of the value of semiconductor cooperation. With this occasion of state visit, we signed in 3 MOUs, and the two countries signed an Advanced Semiconductor Academy Cooperation MOU to foster future generations in the chip field, and also signed a policy cooperation based on the Core Product Cooperation MOU. And the two countries, Korea-Dutch Semiconductor Dialogue will also be established. And based on the Economic and Security Cooperation MOU, an Economic and Security Dialogue will be established that will contribute to building a resilient supply chain and capability to respond to crises. The two countries will also establish a new Foreign Affairs Industry 2+2 ministerial dialogue and hold it every year. And this will greatly contribute to the promotion of trade and commerce, and also the strategic cooperation in the supply chain, including chips and economic security. Third, the two countries agreed to deepen future-oriented cooperation in the energy field. To achieve the common goal of carbon neutrality, the two countries will work and also strengthen our cooperation in this field. Nuclear power plant construction and operation, SMR development, nuclear power plant fuel, and etc. We will strengthen our cooperation in these fields, and also we will expand cooperation between government, companies, and research institutes. Fourth, the two countries will continue a close cooperation in the field of future strategic technology. The two countries in particular are active in advanced ICT fields such as AI and quantum technology, and we will seek new opportunities for cooperation. And based on the Korea-Netherlands ICT Cooperation MOU, we will pursue an active joint research and human resources exchanges. Fifth, the two countries agreed to deepen practical cooperation in the fields of smart agriculture and logistics. Korea and the Netherlands will continue to expand our cooperation in the agricultural field, including smart agriculture and fostering young farmers. And Korea's first European cold chain logistics center that will be built in port of Rotterdam by 2027, and also a unmanned port system that will be introduced to Busan New Port. They will strengthen the exchanges between these two ports. Sixth, the two countries will encourage exchanges among the youth people, and by revising the Working Holiday MOU, we will double the number of the participants of the youth exchanges so that the key players of the future generation will be able to exchange briskly. The two countries will expand various forms of two-way cultural exchanges and cooperate to promote Korean studies, research, and Korean language studies. And also, the two countries will continuously strengthen the strategic cooperation to protect the rules-based international order. To this end, Prime Minister Rutte and I exchanged extensive opinions today on various regional issues, including the North Korean nuclear issue. The Netherlands is condemning continuously on the aggression of North Korea and is supporting South Korea to this end. And we have shared our thoughts that Russia's aggression on Ukraine will also have an effect, could have an effect. to Korea. So both countries will continue to provide support
네덜란드는 우크라이나에 대한 러시아의 공격이
to this end, and the Netherlands
위반으로 규탄하고
condemn that Russia's aggression on Ukraine is a clear violation of international law and shows strong and consistent support for Ukraine. Our two countries will continue to provide support for the restoration of freedom and peace in Ukraine and actively cooperate in the rebuilding and restoration of Ukraine. The Netherlands is an important cooperative partner for Korea in realizing its vision of being a global pivotal nation and contribute to peace, freedom, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region. Korea and Netherlands will jointly contribute to world peace and prosperity based on their experience in overcoming geopolitical challenges and writing a history of innovation and success. And I believe this is for the benefit of the people of the two countries and will also contribute to the world peace and prosperity. Together with Prime Minister, we have agreed on the cooperational measures, and we will faithfully implement with close cooperation with the Dutch government. Thank you once again to the Dutch government for the invitation and the warm hospitality.
First question to Channel A.
Thank you very much. I'm from Channel A, Jo Young-bin. In the Korean media, the state visit of Mr. Yoon, some have expressed that this is for the semiconductor cooperation. I believe that this shows that there are very tangible results in the semiconductor field. So now we are nearing the end of your state visit. In light of semiconductor field, what do you think the takeaways are?
그동안 한국과 네덜란드의
In summary, the Korea and Netherlands semiconductor relations until now was a close cooperational relations, and with my state visit, this is elevated to an alliance. And we have signed many different kinds of MOUs and also established new dialogue bodies. And the chip alliance, let me explain what it means. For us, in the defense field, an ally and alliance would have a different meaning. For military information and military information will be closely shared. So this alliance that we established with the Netherlands for semiconductor means that we are going to maintain our leads, and also by maintaining this, we are going to be in close cooperation with the Netherlands and share information that is necessary. So our target would be really making a very far lead in the semiconductor industry.
Yes, hello. 예, 안녕하십니까? 두 분께 질문하고자 합니다.
I would like to ask the two gentlemen.
여러 가지 이제 국방 분야의 협력을 확장한다고 하시는데,
You are going to expand a lot of cooperation in the field of defense. Then, would this mean that the Korean soldiers will have joint drills with the Dutch soldiers? Second question is on Ukraine. The Netherlands is actively supporting Ukraine. Korea is also supporting Ukraine. But there were some issues on ammunition.
우크라이나를 군사적으로 지원하십니까?
Is Korea backing up Ukraine in terms of military field?
그리고 또한
The two countries, the cooperation is very important, and Korea,
지금 보시면 군사 분야에 있어서
especially in the military field, the responsible use of AI, we have agreed on this, and we are having a lot of different kinds of cooperation.
저희가 거의 매년 저희 이제 군함 방문을 통해서 인도
absolutely together look for ways and opportunities to do even more. And this is all part of our relationship. Yes, semicon, very important, but also defense, cyber, security, but for example also agriculture and horticulture. So it is broader than only semicon, but semicon obviously is a very important part. Then on Ukraine, I really want to thank the President for the support Korea is giving to Ukraine. Military, demining, helmets and vests. Humanitarian, $300 million from Korea to Ukraine in 2024. Reconstruction, $2 billion in the longer term. And also diplomatic sanctions and support for the UN resolutions. And of course, the visit by the President to Kiev last July. So the cooperation between Korea and Ukraine is very important and is also highly valued. And we are also both involved in the talks about the 10-point peace plan by President Zelensky. And let's not forget that the Republic of Korea is one of our 4 NATO partners in the Pacific, together with Japan, Australia, New Zealand. And that is a relationship that is growing closer. So in this respect, Putin has, I believe, achieved the opposite of what he intended.
The last question.
제가 그럼 질문해 좀.
Can I answer the question?
작년에 저와
Last
루터
year,
총리가
myself and Prime
한국에서
Minister Rutte in Korea we met and we talked about our diplomatic relations to be elevated to strategic alliance relations, strategic partnership. And this strategic partnership means that it goes beyond the general cooperation in the fields of foreign policy and economy, but we are in cooperation in many different fields. And also, the security of Europe, security of Northeast Asia, and security of Indo-Pacific, they're all interconnected. If there are any crises that are happening in any of these issues, the supply chain will be disrupted and will have an impact in the other parts of the world. So we can't say one is more important than the other. Therefore, this security crisis has to be surmounted, and to uphold peace, global alliance and solidarity is very significant. In South Korea and the Netherlands, we are in cooperation in almost all fields, including economy, culture, and everything else. So based on this, we are going to take up the responsibility for the international peace and prosperity, and that was declared last year. And to elaborate more on this, the Netherlands is a key essential nation of NATO. And Republic of Korea, we were an invited country from last year to NATO, and we are strengthening our cooperation with NATO. And this defense alliance that is being strengthened with the Netherlands means that this is a pivotal part in strengthening our cooperation, and I believe that this will be a strong channel in cooperation with the Republic of Korea and NATO. The joint drills between the two countries' soldiers, this could happen if we have an imminent need. However, at the moment we are forging a platform for defense cooperation, and this will be done through NATO. And last year, we talked at
공유 체계
about the battlefield information sharing platform among NATO, and we have started the system so that Republic of Korea could take part in this platform. So Republic of Korea will strengthen the NATO participation together with the Netherlands. Hello, I am Kim Gi-tae from SBS. Thank you very much for the invitation and the opportunity to ask a question. So for the last 1.5 years, both of you have met 4 times. And what is your take on the current status of the bilateral relations, and what will be the rooms for improvement?
I believe the relationship has never been better. And yes, Guus Hiddink added a lot to it, but I think our personal cooperation and friendship, can I say, is really bringing this to a level I have not seen before with Korea. There's always been a good relationship. Korea has always been an important partner for us in Asia, but the last 1.5 years it has really expanded, and I see this, of course, getting stronger in the traditional domains, as I mentioned, agriculture, horticulture, but also cybersecurity, now expanding into a broader defense cooperation. Obviously, Semicon, the previous question, is a crucial element of our relationship, the fact that we are 2 ways among the biggest investors in these countries, but also sometimes it is important who is sitting in the chair on the other side of the telephone line, and yes, I always look forward to our talks, our phone calls, because there is more than just the business, there's also a sense of friendship, and that is not always the case. So I would say never been better.
Thank you very much.
루터 총리는
Prime Minister Rutte, he was the first head of state at Madrid
양자회의를 가장 먼저 하신 정상이고
summit, and he was the first summit partner I had, and taking this opportunity, every time we had a chance, we sat down together for a summit talk. Prime Minister is a very open person, and he is leading very well the different parties, political parties, and also he is leading the parliamentary democracy in the Netherlands, and I would like to learn more from him and his leadership. The bilateral relations
가장 최상의 관계라고 할 수
would be
있습니다.
the best
그러나 여기서 머물 것이 아니라 저희가 더 발전을 시켜야 되는데
up until now. We can't fall complacent. We have to improve this even further. And this, the semiconductor alliance that was elevated this time, I think this is the essence of this visit. And this implies this is connected to the strategic partnership status of the 2 countries that was elevated last year. So it means that this is very important in terms of the semiconductor cooperation and global security and global strategic agenda. To these ends, the 2 countries will cooperate closely, and that will be the foundation for it. And due to this, we can elevate this partnership to an alliance. So based on our cooperation, we will, including culture, semiconductor, and all the other fields, the landscape of our cooperation will expand and will be more in-depth.
Thank you very much.
Right, so that was a joint presser by President Yoon and Prime Minister Rutte. Professor Min, we just heard the leaders, a host of discussions there. We heard the leaders address the history of bilateral relations over 60 years in the making, perhaps even before that, dating back to the Korean War. And they say they will strengthen strategic partnership and their chip alliance for the resilience of supply chains. They also mentioned areas of other cooperation seeking to work together on AI, nuclear energy, cyber policy, and people-to-people exchanges. They also condemned North Korea's aggression. A lot of topics there. What do you make of that?
Yeah, as expected, the two leaders agreed to strengthen the strategic relationship between the two countries, including politics, diplomacy, security, and economy and culture. So almost all walks of life. So most of all, they recognize the importance of the closely working together between the two countries in terms of the semiconductor industry. So that they tried to enhance their level of cooperation to the level of an alliance, which means that they will plan together in times of a crisis to get over those crises, to secure the supply chain in the field of semiconductor. And they also decided to expand their cooperations beyond the semiconductor industry, like the nuclear power industry, defense industry, and future-oriented industries like AI, quantum computing, and smart farming, and other things. So it means that the two countries have got the shared economic and security and other parts of the interests that lead those countries, the two countries, to work together. So it means that we will see the better relationships between the countries in the coming months and years. And they also talked about their security, the concerns and the interests, like the Ukraine war and North Korea's growing military threats. And each of them expressed the gratitude in terms of taking care of their own the security concern, like the Netherlands' concern over the Ukraine war and South Korea's concern over the North Korea's military threat. So it shows that the two countries have got the better understandings about the security concerns of each country, and they will work together to share those interests and send their support over the international community when they have the chances and opportunity to do that. So overall, I think that it's the valuable the opportunity that South Korea could expand and strengthen its strategic relationship with the Netherlands, which is a very important trading partner, security partner in European continent.
Expanding opportunity. All right. Thank you, Professor Min, for your insights.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that brings an end to Arirang News Special. Thank you for watching.